30 seconds, maybe a minute.
I didn't even ask in the last meeting because I'm a cold-hearted, selfish person. How are you feeling? Have you fully recovered?
Feeling good, thank you. About 90%, which is all I need. It was a week last week. That's all I'm gonna say there.
Yeah, for those who are unaware, both Marina and Gabriel last week were laid low by illness. I was just sitting, like, waiting for the Reaper to come visit me. So fortunately, that hasn't happened. But we were a sorry lot. Sounds like things are trending in the right direction, though.
Yeah, exactly. Good thing that you didn't succumb, or hopefully no one else did as well.
I think it's probably because of my virtuous principles and clean living.
There you go. I need to take pointers.
Take everything I'm about to do at consensus and just don't do those things.
What about juice?
Juice. Oh no, the juice. That's fair. We're doing our data partner hangout at Juice Land, which is like when I lived in Austin. It was absolutely my go-to. Well, it would have been my go-to after long all-nighters of partying if I were inclined to do those things. I am very confident that the juices and smoothies there can raise someone from the dead if supplied in sufficient quantities.
That sounds delicious.
They even do these little shots. They're like wellness shots of like acai and turmeric and other things I haven't heard of, but they sound really healthy.
Oh, nice. Yeah, those apple cider vinegar and stuff. That sounds
Yeah.
not delicious, but very healthy. All right, how's our group? I think we have a many of us here. So maybe we kick it off. Can everyone see my screen? There's been some off and on that recently. Awesome. Thank you for signaling that. All right, I am recording, so today we have our pod updates, agile style as usual recently, so 30 seconds to a minute. We also are going to be talking about season 4 goals. Each of the pod leaders will be able to share their KPIs and what drives us this season, pod per pod, and then at the end, so this agenda is actually flipped. At the end, DJ will talk about the big picture for the DAO where we're going in season 4. So let's kick it off with the KPI update.
Hey Marina, sorry, when I went to this doc earlier, I didn't see the slide deck, so I didn't update anything today. I thought we were just going to be going over the larger pod metrics. So I'm going to pass it to Zook, and I'm going to work on the bounty op slide here.
No worries, Zook, it's all yours.
Hi everybody. So I'm sharing some new stats today. I managed to pull some stats from the app thanks to some dashboards that were prepared by community members. So this line right at the top is stats from the app. So as you can see, we've had 95 analysts who submitted a total of 180 submissions. So these are cumulative stats since launch of the app. 59 people have reviewed submissions, and in total, more than 8,000 USDC was paid through the app. Now, on the left, bottom left, this is the traditional legacy system. So these are the stats that I shared in previous weeks. So as you can see, in the last 7 days, there were only 60 analysts active through our legacy ecosystem, which is Notion. So this shows that users are perhaps transitioning from the legacy system to the app. Now, let me update you on last week. Patrick wrote an analysis on user retention, and he discovered that more than half of our analysts have less than 1 month of experience. So at first, there were some concerns that maybe people are only active for 1 month and then leaving our community. But after further investigation, Patrick discovered that it's actually a positive sign of growth, as we have a lot of new users with less than a month of experience because they joined very recently. So it's actually a sign of growth. Drake published a walkthrough on launching challenges in the app. So you can access it by clicking the link in the slide here on the walkthrough. Another news, the Pine Network is launching a Solana challenge in the app. So really happy to see a network launching a challenge independently. What's new? Well, we might have a new network for creating bounty questions. So this has always been a little bit of a bottleneck, is getting great analytics challenge questions. It's a skill, and we might have a network that will be compensated for this important work. So that's it for analytics. I think I'm ready for peer review. Thank you, Marina. Again, some new stats here. So we have some reviewer networks that are active, and I'm sharing some stats on how many reviews these networks have completed. So our oldest network is the Samurai Pink, who have completed the most reviews, but we also have other networks such as the Watchmen and the Eager Beavers have also done quite a bit of work. Now on the bottom left, you can see some app data on reviews. So these are the number of reviews per submission in the app. So for some challenges, there's been more than 25 reviews per submission. And for other challenges, there's been less than 5. So just some interesting data to share with you. Now, last week accomplishments in peer review. The Eager Beavers have done something interesting. They've shared a satisfaction survey or a review feedback survey on their work. So basically, the Eager Beavers have reviewed and scored submissions, and they've surveyed the analysts to inquire about if they thought the review was fair, if they liked the comments they received with their score, and things like that. So it's really great to see the Eager Beavers innovating with this survey. There's been a dashboard teardown, which is where a submission is reviewed live and commented on. So by clicking this link that I included in the slide, you'll see the YouTube video, this dashboard teardown. So analysts could benefit from watching it and learning. So we're always asked when payment, and people are maybe think it's too slow to receive payment. Well, they'll be pleased to hear that in the app, it takes on average 3.3 days between the time an analyst submits and the time they get paid. So this is extremely fast, and we're happy with that. This week, one of our priorities or tasks is enabling reviewer networks to onboard new members and badge them, because they need a badge to be part of the network. So we want to allow the networks to do this independently. Finally, concerns or blockers. Well, reviewers need to get paid, and we're looking at paying them hourly, which is the traditional way we've been doing it, or paying them per review. So we're just trying to set up a system that will be optimized, but in the long term, in the app world, we might pay reviewers per review instead of hourly, but we're still discussing all of that, and we'll likely have some updates for you in the next weeks about that. So that's
Hey,
all for
hey Zook,
Aaron. Go ahead.
I do want to stress here that we actually are moving to paying per submission sooner than later, roughly starting at the point of like $6.50 per submission, because that's the average, and then scaling back from there.
Thank you, Aaron, for the clarification.
No worries.
Aaron, quick question on that one. Is there any concern about starting there and then paying people less over time, as opposed to starting with less and then scaling up if we need to?
We can start with less if people want to. I would just assume, because we're building networks, that I wasn't really thinking we'd ever go down as like the DAO. We're running the challenges now. We can't control what other clients are going to be willing to pay for review. So naturally, there are going to be different amounts either way. So GJ, we can have more of a conversation if like we want the DAO to set a lower price for itself. But if like, say Pine as an example, and they're going to set a budget pool, their average submission payout will be likely different than ours as the DAO.
Yeah, and that's great. And I very much encourage networks to do what they want to do and to try different things for sure. For the ones that we are setting up and helping foster, I would like to have more conversation around this, just because there already are a bunch of conversations, and trying to get a single thread going on this specifically is important, given how much feedback we get about review and how much people care about it.
That's fine. I can hold off on making any changes so there's more discussion.
Yeah, and then just before we move on, where's the best place to have that discussion with all the stakeholders who are involved, since this also, has come up with the protocol dev work as well?
I would say the most public channel, because community's already involved in this as well. So I don't know if you just want to make a massive channel for it so everyone can see, but I think we're already here where like everyone's kind of has questions, even the community. So the more public that is, probably the better.
Okay, cool. I'll give that a tiny bit of thought, but I'll try to get that moving as quickly as possible, so we're not holding anything up.
Okay, thanks, guys. So if anyone else has any comments or questions, please jump in. Okay, that's it for me.
Thank you, Zook and Aaron and Sunslinger for this discussion. Oh, sorry, not Sunslinger. Let's go on to the next slide, which is Aaron.
If you refresh this will update.
All right, give me a second. I'm gonna exit the nice and neat screen share, and here we go.
Awesome. So yeah, as you guys can see, last week we shipped roughly 8 challenges in Notion and 5 across the app. We developed 2 additional marketplaces, and then we did complete setting goals for season 4, which you can see linked there. Priorities this week is shipping more than 5 challenges in the app, at least being 2 done by the ops team, supporting Pine and the Watchmen to be new networks within the marketplace, which that's actually already live. Just making sure those challenges get out. Pine will be supporting actually shipping and managing, where Watchmen will be a review network within a marketplace. And then continue to create these small networks so we can service things, kind of manage our budgets, and really start to find ways and new use cases to test. And then beyond that, realistically expand on app reporting. Drake has been helping here, but looking to create a larger metrics and dashboards to show the activity through the apps from users, reviews, submissions, and things like that. I think the biggest concern that I have, which I've talked to you a little bit about, is the end-to-end project management of challenges. We really do not have a front-end customer service team that's coordinating with the clients, with the internal teams, executing against the operations, thinking about the long-term viewpoints, coordinating with the biz dev team as well. So do we want to essentially figure out how we do that in-house, or more importantly, build a network of that we can service and contract this work out to? But those discussions are happening. I'm looking to test actually a network use case here, and we'll update everyone on that in the channels. But that's all I have, Marina. If anyone has any questions, let me know.
Thanks, Aaron. I'm just giving it a second in case any questions come in. Doesn't look like there's any, so let's go to protocol dev.
Hey everyone. Yeah, we are pushing along. Still, main focuses are going to be on the new marketplace and challenge creation flows, internally known as NBadge. You've probably heard that name dropped some places. And we're also pushing along on cross-chain payments, working through some considerations that we might have missed now that we're getting some other eyes on the implementation. I think the most interesting thing is we pushed a fix to make it very clear which challenges are open versus closed on the marketplace screen. So take a look. We're constantly rolling out incremental improvements to the app. That's it. No blockers, nothing concerning. Just chugging along.
Awesome. Thanks, Ed. Are there any questions before we move on? Anyone? Obligatory pause. Looks like there aren't any. Let's go to BizDev and James.
Hey everyone. So last week we added data partners Subquery, DSites AI, DataX, DataFi Alliance, Satsuma, and then super excited to say Gold Sky and their newly launched Indexed, which is separate from them. Also signed on as data partners. This week we actually now have 33 total data partners. NFT Keek, I think it's pronounced, signed on today, which we're super excited about. Analyst group with over 900 members. So working on some cool things with them. And then the other big thing is hosting a juice hang for our data partners at Consensus. And some hopeful data partners will be there as well. And that's it for me.
Thanks, James. That's really amazing stats, and have fun drinking juice with our partners. And let's go on to DAO Ops with None.
Hey everyone. So it's another week of contractor policy stuff. We got some feedback from legal, and so I'll be sharing that with everyone later today, and we'll incorporate that and hopefully move forward and actually get this wrapped up. I'm also going to be working with Treasury on some multi-sig policy that they haven't seen yet, but they'll start seeing later because that got brought up in last week's meeting. And then just some context on why all of this is happening, because all of it seems like kind of bit background stuff. We're trying to set up like a legal base for the DAO to be solid on, so before we start trying to decentralize more. And so that'll be coming up soon, and you'll start hearing more about how the organization might change and what people's input is on that and everything. And so just some setup for the rest of the season. That's all I got.
Thanks, None. Anything else you have to add on kind of the big picture season 4, or is that pretty much covering it?
There's a lot more I could say, but I'll do it in separate meetings so it's not overwhelming at once. And so, but the overall stuff is just like watch for changes around how the org goes around decentralization.
Thanks. Awesome. Let's do Treasury with Bills.
Hey everyone. Last week we paid bounties through batch 64. This week's priority, we want to pay the rest of the season 3 bounties. So this is batches 65 through 69. Also this week, if you weren't aware, we were nominated for Optimism's retroactive public goods funding. So the next step of this process before we can claim those tokens is completing a KYC process. I'll be going through uploading a bunch of our corporate legal docs, things like that, and then we'll see the next steps for claiming those tokens. Other than that, big picture things for Treasury in season 4 is just facilitating the transition to the app. So as more and more bounties start going through the app, we just need to figure out processes to, fund the app wallet so they can launch the challenges and less manual bounty payments. So a lot of exciting stuff happening there. That's it for Treasury.
Awesome. Thank you, Bills. R plus is also writing a blog post about season 4, our direction. And I think he'll find this recording and what you just talked about for season 4 really useful to talk about the Treasury bot and where what it's prioritizing. appreciate that big picture. And let's go to marketing with Crypto Friedman.
Cool. I apologize for also being a last minute change person. If you want to refresh, feel free to do so, but I'll just jump through to keep things moving. Worked on some strategy stuff with our Twitter engagement and analyst growth more broadly. Brought on somebody to help out with engagement and writing some like marketing threads. So like when Roden or R Plus write a really awesome blog post, we'll handle threads for them, partner promotions, things like that. Coordinating with the education team to just refine that partner content strategy, trying to bring some high content experience in, and also just operational stuff too to help all of us out. And then working on a community promotion program because the more we can reward our community for helping us grow, I think the better for all of us. So this week, just kind of working on continuing to like streamline, execute on some stuff, community promotion, and working on kind of what analyst growth means and what that journey is. So I know where on the marketing front to really put some fuel to the fire and direct people towards. Yeah, and then Blockers just continue to work with the ed team to streamline stuff because that helps with the marketing promotion into things, and then working with some people to kind of figure out what the existing definitions of like analysts and how their journey works and all that kind of stuff. Broadly this season, kind of from all the conversations and thinking and reviewing and strategizing and tweeting that I've done, I think the two kind of broad categories are really making sure this, like the marketing front of the partner, the data partner stuff goes really well. Because that's just like a huge win. Like shout out to James for really crushing it on that front. Like that's a really awesome opportunity in a lot of ways, including marketing. So we want to make sure our partners come away like being really stoked to have worked with us. We've helped them out a lot, and then hopefully that will inspire them to run challenges for months and years to come. And then the other side of that is that analyst growth. How do we get more analysts coming in, participating, getting excited, making friends, adding their thoughts, submitting challenges, all that good stuff.
Awesome. Thanks, Alex. Let's go over to education. Vaida.
Okay, hello everyone. As usual, we have been running the multiple sessions with the newly established data partners. But one big update that I wanted to highlight is that in the last week's meeting, I did mention one of the blockers being that we just don't have enough people attending the sessions. The partners, and basically what we ended up doing, we ended up completely changing the way the sessions are going to be run. So instead of partners just doing demos and talking about a product, we will be making these sessions much more relevant to the analysts and focusing on the topics and skills that matter to them, and as well as helping them to become better analysts, which is one of the most important things for education, and also helping them to get better at achieving these analytics challenges. And we kind of hope that this is going to also result in much better attendance as the sessions are going to be much more relevant. So one of the big priorities this week is to map out like these topics that are important for us and that we can suggest to our partners, and also create some documentation so that they are not lost and they know the expectations, and we can support them, in the best way possible to actually deliver those sessions. Also, a big thing this week is just kind of continue mapping and realizing like what really are the skills that are very important for the analysts to have, like mapping how these skills look into different programs, what sort of levels are there for these programs, and what does it mean to be at each level. So we're going to kind of finalize hopefully this week that mapping so that we can launch the next 101 and 201 programs. So yeah, that's kind of the main updates here.
Thanks, Vaida. And we've got Jay to talk about Big Picture Season 4. So you'll see a couple of themes here. One is the ongoing projects, which you'll see, for example, last week and this. Some of these are our new series of blog posts, Metrics Minds Weekly. This is where we pick one or several really good dashboards from the past week and showcase it in kind of a narrative blog post, what was important about it, why kind of the general audience should pay attention and care. So the week before we'd done Shanghai upgrade. Last week we'd done a Sentio dashboard that Hawk did for our partner challenge with Sentio. And this was talking about liquid staked ether, so still piggybacking off of those Shanghai upgrade discussions. And then this week we got one more of those coming up. If you have any ideas on which challenge results or some good dashboards to feature, let us know in the community pod channel. Other kind of ongoing projects are Ashley and GJ's awesome professionalism course, which had its chapter 3 last week, and we'll have the final crowning chapter 4 this week. And the one of the big themes was ongoing projects, and another one is kind of planning and project managing and big picture of the cool things we came up with when brainstorming at the beginning of the season. Some of these include, so Vaida already talked about skills and how they map to an analyst journey. This is something we're collaborating with education on to work out a MetricsDAO skill tree. Yes, like a video game character, every analyst will be able to track, their journey, where they're going, what skills they are gaining, with which courses, with which expansion packs, and succeed. And then another kind of project management project this week is to plan out and schedule out and start executing on some of these expansion packs, which are community kind of driven, standalone learning modules and knowledge sharing modules that will map into this whole skill tree and the big picture. On Discord, a community member, our awesome Playo, is making a second bot for MetricsDAO, which is a bot that will announce every time a new challenge is live and analysts can, go earn. And maybe there's a little alpha leak that something's being designed in the community pod channel as far as new swag or new, just check out the channel and see what that is and talk to us about that. And as always, GJ and team are going really focusing on more and better networks, which you're probably seeing some of those in the network section of our Discord, and other updates from other pods talked about how those networks are, going at it and doing great things in practice. Concerns or blockers, we have a permanent reminder here to not share your private info, beware of scammers, beware of suspicious DMs, even if it looks like someone from the team. And as far as the big picture of Community Pod, there's a document linked here. It's in our Notion. So you might have seen it already, but if you haven't, you're welcome to check it out and provide comments. We're focusing, as a reminder, on 4 pillars this season, which are onboarding, sharing knowledge, showcasing the best work of analysts and how great they are, and community support. And the details on KPIs are in that document, and feedback is always welcome. Anything else to add on the community side, GJ or anyone, or any questions?
Not on the community side, but I will transition to talk a little bit about DAO-wide Season 4 goals, if that's cool.
Absolutely. I have my screen ready to take notes so we can reuse the slide as a reminder in future weeks.
Cool. This will help us all keep on track as, DAO-wide. I will add for anybody who's listening, We welcome your feedback. Please give us your feedback. It helps us serve you better. It helps us serve the space better. So we've got the community bounty ops, or should you say operations and education pods. We have goals for governance. What I'm going to try to do is articulate, based on all the reading I've done of those and all the conversations I've had, where we're going as a DAO. This is my interpretation of many, many conversations we've had. So don't take it as gospel truth, just more like a moment in time. Here's where we're at, and here's what we want to hold ourselves to. We at MDAO in season 4 have established several value centers, areas that create great value for the space. We have our analysts, we have the protocol and the app that's built to top it, we have our data providers and their relationships, we have the brand that the marketing team has built up and that all of us continue to support, and we have us, our contributors, everyone who's on this call, those who are not, and the passion and work that set of people is bringing. So the broad goal for season 4 is to maximize the value of each of those. The education pod does this with our 101 and our 201 courses, with the skill packs that we're doing, and with creating more and better analysts. The community pod supports that and helps channel feedback from the community into those initiatives. Bounty operations is continuing to weigh in on number of analysts to provide information on how well what we're doing is working. Like we saw earlier today, providing insights in addition to the challenges that we continue to run. Improvements to the protocol and the app support all of this as well. So as we think about these, these are goals that tap into the goals that each pod has established. I will go through some of the ones that I have summarized. Again, this is not an exhaustive list necessarily, but these are some of the cross-functional things we're all working towards. I've already mentioned growing the number of our analysts and their skill. I will add growing their market presence, their ability to promote themselves and their work. It's beneficial to them. It's beneficial to MetricsDAO. So we're attempting to grow our number of analysts, our quality, and also their ability to share what they've done and what they're doing. For the protocol and the app, just continue to enhance its operational capabilities and also ensure that people know how to use it. There's a lot that we're doing, especially with the second version of Badger that's coming out as well, but documentation as well and education, ensuring that people can create their own networks. There's some great work that's going on, on that score this week. And as Zook said, we are continuing to port people over from our legacy setup into the new one. And so continuing to ensure that not only are we building it, but that people are using it and that we're channeling their feedback into it. For data providers, deepening the relationships there, we're over 30 at this point, and depth matters just as much as number does, and continuing to give them purposes and opportunities to participate in MetricsDAO. So not just that we're doing things for them, but that they're, coming and being active in our community. The brand and Web3 street cred, I won't presume to set explicit goals around so much as to recognize this is something that we've built up. MetricsDAO universally received positive coverage. I'm expecting more of that at consensus when I tell people, hey, I'm with MDAO. So continuing to make that a center of gravity for the space for Web3 analytics, and ideally making it a badge of honor for analysts as well. As we talk about these expansion packs and the skill trees that we're developing, this should give analysts a tangible way to showcase their work, to showcase their badges, to showcase everything, all the blood, sweat, and tears they poured in to building up their analytical capabilities, their metrics minds. And then last but certainly not least, for contributors, we want people to be paid fairly. We want to maximize transparency into what we're doing. And we want everyone here to feel a sense of ownership. Those are simple to talk about. They're hard to execute upon, but we are putting a lot of time and effort in as a DAO. The pod leaders meeting before this is a great example. That's a new meeting. It's something that we're trying to do to hold each other accountable to a mission that will change the space and ultimately change the world. And we're doing our best to conduct everything we can in open, fair, and public forums, and to get feedback and to act on that feedback. So that's what I've got. That's my summary of many hours of work from our operations pods. I welcome feedback on it, and please, pod leaders, contributors, everybody, let's continue to refine this and shape it in the coming weeks as we get deeper into season 4. I'll open the floor right now. If there's anything that I'm missing, I know we're over time, but if anyone's like, oh, GJ, how could you forget that? You betrayed me. Please share it.
I feel like there should be an obligatory thank you and awesome work to everyone who's gotten the DAO to this point so far.
You're absolutely right. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to everyone who has gotten the DAO to this point so far. That's a terrific message. I'm so glad I thought of it. No, but seriously, we've been doing this for close to a year and a half as a DAO. The community that we've built up, the reputation that we've built up, the number of analysts that we're able to influence and upskill and promote is awesome. Only the beginning. There is so much more that we're still capable of doing, but I know the talent, the skill level in this room, it's astronomically high. The ceiling is extremely impressive. So, speaking for myself, I am honored to work with each of you and grateful that you choose to spend your time and your energy here. So thank you for that.
Thank you, GJ, for that overarching summary of everything we're about this season. I hope I did it justice by taking notes. If not, please feel free to edit them at any time, and I'll put this slide towards the beginning so we can have it kind of week to week in season 4 just to remind us what we're focusing on. And I'm gonna open the floor for any last minute additions or anything, any questions, and yeah, and then we're about ready to wrap up. I see there's a bit of a discussion in chat, but don't hear any verbal comments. So let's continue offline. We're a little bit over because we did talk big picture today, so I appreciate you sticking around. And yeah, let's continue all of these discussions offline that we have. And thanks all for joining. See you throughout the week and see you next week on Monday.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.